Oftentimes when you watch the news, and I know a lot of you all say you don't watch the news, you don't read the newspaper, but somehow you're always telling me all of these intriguing things that just so happen to be on the news. Anyway, a lot of times, and everybody is guilty of it, conservative media, liberal media, corporate media, as we like to call it, governmental run media, everybody is guilty of it. Everybody disparages cities, big, large metropolitan cities. People disparage them in the news. They always report to you the crime, the violence. Carjackings are up in this city. Yada, yada, yada. They never present to you any positivity coming out of the city. It's like cities only serve a negative purpose, yet millions of people choose to live in cities. It seems kind of crazy that millions of people would choose to live in a bad area. But you all, I like to talk about positive things too from time to time. All of the bad rap that the cities get, a lot of it can be summed up to this, you all. Cities are diverse. There's different cultures. There's different types of food. There's just an array of difference. And some people don't like difference. They like everything being similar, the same as them. So people who can't cut it in cities usually like the suburbs or rural areas. But you all, we never hear anything good coming out of the cities. So I wanted to present this story to you. It's making the rounds, but it's not getting national attention. And I said, wait a minute, this is a big deal. It's a positive story coming out of New Orleans, Chocolate City. New Orleans, Atlanta, Chicago, Jackson, Mississippi, Detroit, Michigan. All of these cities get negative press all the time. We hear about the citizens, but we never hear any positivity. Well, you're about to hear something super fantastic in nature. 2 seniors in high school, you all, have apparently discovered and proven a theory that has mystified mathematicians for 2,000 years. That's not 200 years. That's not 800 years. 2,000 years, you all. This has mystified the most brilliant mathematicians. You all know some. Einstein and others. This Pythagoras theory. And basically, if I can recall, it's the Pythagoras theory it's impossible to prove it using trigonometry because it's circular logic. But you all, just recently, 2 teenage African American students discovered that you can prove Pythagoras' theory. And you all guess this. You can prove it using trigonometry without circular logic. Now this is groundbreaking. They presented this recently at Georgia Tech in Atlanta. 2 young African American female students, seniors in high school, going to schools in New Orleans, have solved a problem potentially that took 2,000 years of mathematicians, great in scope, and it mystified it. You know, the reason I wanted to highlight this is because it's New Orleans. We heard so much about the poverty during Hurricane Katrina. We heard about the racism that's occurred in New Orleans. But we don't hear about the stellar, great, positive things that happen in our cities, especially New Orleans. And this I thought was really positive, really groundbreaking. I don't think you all realize 2,000 years. You know how many mathematicians have looked over this problem? That 2 high schoolers this year have solved it. And they're both really stellar students. When they were asked about it, they said, oh, you know, we're not going to take all the credit for this. We're a product of this school. Our teachers, they push us to excellence. So they took the whole community approach. That there's a village that it takes to create greatness and great minds. You know, the cities, they're untapped potentials in America. They've been this way for a long period of time. Because what we choose to see is the negative and never the positive in the city. And today, I wanted to highlight those 2 students, Calcia Johnson and Nakia Jackson. We should remember those names because they might take us to the moon again. They might take us to Mars, Saturn, Pluto. The sky is really the limit. And we need to be grateful for our people in our cities. Yes, we can share the bad things that happen in cities. And there are many, because many people live in cities. But there are many great things that occur in the cities too. And we should be reticent never to quell and not share those stories as well. So congratulations. I know these 2 young ladies will go on to do great things for New Orleans, for Louisiana, their country, and perhaps the world. You know, they're talking about using fusion as energy. They might be able to solve that problem. So we've got to invest in our cities. Invest in our potential. Invest in our greatness. New Orleans is a great American city. When it was under French rule, it was great too. And it's been great in America. It's had problems, many problems. Problems that we as American citizens have wrought on the city. You see, everybody wants to blame the government. But in a lot of ways, Americans, when you own and operate a system that says we the people, you in turn are the government. So let's get to work. Let's stop starving out our cities and investing in the potential, because it's great, just as great as Calcia Johnson and Nakia Jackson are to New Orleans. That's the type of potential that this country could see if we do investment.